Hello, hello everyone. I hope you had a fabulous weekend and that your week has started out well. If, as you all may know, if you follow me, we had a fun weekend in New Orleans. Um, and this week's Tease Towel really comes from a place of processing and mixed emotion. And, I speak from my heart with these things, and I felt it. I just felt I needed to speak about this week as I talk to you. You know the saying, "You don't choose your family." It's true, and sometimes it's a blessing and a challenge. And family has power to fill your heart, but also to break it, and often at the same time in the same weekend. This weekend we went to New Orleans for my nephew's wedding, and let's just say it wasn't the fairy tale, what do I want to say? The fairy tale family wedding weekend that one would picture. A celebration a celebration should be full of love and celebrating, but what unfolded was a mixture of joy, intention, and actually some deep disappointment. I'm not going to go into details on that because every family has their stuff. But let me just say this, that we showed up with open hearts. We wanted to celebrate. We wanted to be there for them and just to have a good time with family. And even though we had nothing to do with what had been going on, somehow we still found ourselves on the outside looking in, and it hurt. And it really did. To be treated like we didn't matter stung deeply. So let's just say there were moments that left me questioning, what do we owe family, and how do we find peace when we are not treated the way that we had hoped for. Now, don't get me wrong. My family who showed up and were there to support, and we actually stayed in an Airbnb all together, and it was so much fun, and that was actually wonderful. But back home now, and even after, but even more so right back home, you sit and you start processing and you start reflecting, and I've been struggling. The laughter we shared, the fun we had, and yet the sting of being pushed aside, the sadness of the relationships that felt fractured. I realized that actually family is a constant mirror. It reflects our expectations, our old wounds, and sometimes our deepest securities. But it can also reflect our capacity for forgiveness and for grace and for choosing love even when it's not reciprocated. This weekend kind of had it all. I saw division, but I also saw unity among those who choose to rise above it. I saw disappointment, but I also saw strength in how we carried on with love and laughter despite it. And I also saw that while we can't control how others act, we can control how we respond. Here's what I came with. Family doesn't have to be perfect to be precious, and sometimes it's those imperfections that treat us the most. About compassion. We learn to love people where they are, not just where we wish they are. And we learn that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means freeing ourselves. And maybe the most importantly, we learn that family isn't just defined by blood. It is defined by the people who show up, who hold space, and who choose to love even in spite of the messy situations. Family may not always be easy, but it's always an invitation to grow, to forgive, and to love a little bit deeper. So as I think about that trip, I choose to appreciate and focus on the love and the laughter that we had. I'm choosing to remember the laughter as we shared walking the streets of New Orleans, the inside jokes, the late night talks, the feeling of togetherness that we all still managed to rise above the chaos, the connections that stayed strong, and the memories that were made in spite of the chaos. And that's what family is. It's beautiful, it's messy, it's complicated, but it's still ours. And at the end of the day, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the ones who showed up. I'm grateful for the ones who showed love. I'm grateful for the laughter that got us through. And maybe I'm even grateful for the ones who didn't, because it reminds me to keep my heart open and not let bitterness win. And at the end of the day, all we can do is love the best we can, hold our boundaries, and keep showing up with grace. In spite of the chaos, it was a wonderful weekend. In spite of the disappointment, it was a wonderful weekend, because we stood together. We rose above some of the crap that happened. And I think we're all closer and stronger because of it. So every weekend, every family thing that you go to doesn't come out the way that you expected it. And while I'm grieving some loss, I'm also appreciating the rest of us who were there and who loved and who laughed and who stuck together. And thank you to my family for all of that. And thank you if you watch this on Teasdale. If you watch this on replay, but I thank you all for your support, and I love you all too. All right, I'll see you next week on Teasdale. Bye-bye.